distinguished ministers, dear friends and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to begin today with a word of thanks to the Honorable Robert Tapaito, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport for the Cook Islands, for chairing today's event and inviting me to address the opening. It has been reassuring to ICAO that many Pacific region countries are now gradually emerging from pandemic and adapting their aviation systems to the demands of the recovery and new normal. The challenges you have faced in recent years have clearly underscored the need to modernize operations and upgrade critical infrastructure, both to improve network flexibility and increase resilience, and particularly in times of crisis and their aftermath. Several of the more resource-constrained countries, and in particular the Pacific Small Islands developing states, still require the proactive engagement and assistance of international partners to meet their emerging recovery demands. ICAO was encouraged to see that the invitation letter to this RAM 2 meeting underscored this priority, highlighting as well that many common traditional values and customs amongst these states have enabled them to organize positive discussions for the benefit and advancement of aviation in the Pacific region as a whole. This helps to illustrate the potential for collective and coordinated effort, which is by far the most effective path towards rectifying current financial and human resources constraints and to optimizing air transport and tourism growth benefits for all. This meeting serves as a follow-up to the RAM 1 and the Ministerial Port Moresby Declaration on Aviation Safety and Security, and you will be updated here on the ongoing evolution of the Pacific Aviation Safety Organization into a regional safety and security oversight organization, and on the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing recovery of international air traffic. You are also being invited to agree to explore long-term collaborative regional approaches to sustainable Pacific aviation recovery and to task your country's officials to increase their coordination with aviation industry stakeholders. ICAO is currently implementing a longer-term sustainable aviation development roadmap for Pacific Small Island developing states, developed subsequent to the findings and recommendations of the needs analysis study that was conducted in 2019. We are accordingly engaging with a broad stakeholders community in this effort, including cooperation and development assistance with donor states and agencies. We are also presently coordinating on the funding and recruitment of a new Pacific Small Island Developing States ICAO liaison officer, with the gratefully appreciation support of various states that are providing funds to this position. In this regard, I remind you of my invitation to all states in the Pacific region to consider hosting the ICAO liaison officer and thereby contribute to facilitating for this additional resource in the region to support the implementation and development of aviation for the benefit of all your states. This role will help to augment the existing capacity building we are already engaged in with the small island developing states, whether in terms of aviation recovery initiatives, aviation safety, security, and passenger facilitation priorities, or the national air transport emission reductions that you are now pursuing via the carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation, also known as CORSIA, and your state action plans. I must underscore here, however, that to take full advantage of our assistance, Pacific Small Island developing states must be better engaged in terms of responding to our invitations and participating in the ICAO meetings and training programs. We can do it via virtual participation in our meetings. In concluding now, I wish to stress the importance of your presence at our 41st Assembly this September and to welcome the 2 working papers your states are planning to present there regarding the RAM outcomes and ICAO's PSIDIS Aviation Needs Analysis Study. I would also draw your attention to the upcoming 57th meeting of Asia-Pacific Director Generals of Civil Aviation to be held in the Republic of Korea next month, where both myself and the President of the Council will be available for bilateral discussions. There are some tremendous opportunities for us to explore together in the coming years, and ICAO will continue to provide as much support and assistance as it can to help your states benefit as much as possible as aviation continues to reconnect the world. I thank you very much.